Namaskar friends, this is NJ, your host on this channel. In this video, we will have our discussion on the concept of planetary conjunction. Because friends, whenever you will find or you come across a situation where you will see a lot many planets concentrated, conjunct in a single house. So what is going to be the methodology or approach which you have to follow? So like if one planet is going to get suppressed or one planet is going to dominate, our planets going to work in support, in cahoots with each other. So there is a proper trick, methodology or process to follow. Because friends, whether it's about astrology or whether it's about office politics or you talk about joint families, so there is a lot of things which goes in astrology as well, and only if you know about the tricks and the principles, so things are going to become very easy for you. Now whether you have to do the personality assessment for someone or whether you have to make successful and precise predictions for someone, so all of that can be done. So now friends, to begin with, first of all, you have to understand in which categories you can place the planets, because unless and until you're not sure of that, you'll not be able to understand the role of planets being placed in the same house. So now, as you know, that planets can be categorized on the basis of their natural nature and their functional nature. So if we talk about the natural nature, so planets could be benefic by nature and malefic. So in the benefic category comes the Mercury, Venus, Jupiter, Moon. And in the malefic category comes the planets like Saturn, Rahu, Ketu, Mars, and Sun is also mild malefic. Now friends, when we talk about functional benefic and functional malefic, so that concept is very simple. First of all, your ascendant lord is going to be always very auspicious planet for you. So if your soul has taken birth, so the body form and where your body is going to make its home in this life, in your astrological chart, that is going to be the placement of your ascendant lord in your chart. Now second thing is that friends, definitely when we talk about the lordship of the trine houses or the angular houses, so specifically the trine house lords are considered as a functional benefic for you. And when we talk about functional malefic, so definitely planets like which has got the rulership of the Dushtana Bhava, like 6th house, 8th house, 12th house, and specifically like certain planets which has got 2 zodiac signs. So if their Mool Trikona sign is falling in these Dushtana Bhava, so the lord of that sign or of that Dushtana house where the Mool Trikona sign is falling in, that lord or that planet is going to become the functional malefic for you. Now friends, when we talk about the planetary conjunction, so first of all, before we will straight away jump into the general results for assessing the conjunction, first I want to put my emphasis over here that in certain cases or alignments, conjunction becomes more important. Now those certain criterias are: if you will find any planet conjunct with nodes, Rahu, Ketu. Second category is if you will find any planet conjunct with Moon. Third category is if you will find any planet conjunct with ascendant lord. And you can also include any conjunction where planets are conjunct with Saturn. So first we will take all these cases, then we will go to the general queries. So now friends, when we talk about the conjunction of planets with Rahu and Ketu, that becomes very important because nodes in our life just tells about our karmic axis. So if any planet in your ascendant chart is conjunct with Rahu, that in itself tells about that this is the area in this lifetime where you have to work. Like your growth could be connected with the signification of that planet, your desires, your futuristic goals could be connected with the innate nature of that planet. So that is very simple. If your Rahu is conjunct with Venus, so growth might and the lessons or the future progress might be connected on the domain of the monetary matters, financial matters, or this could be relationship. If this is about Mercury, so Rahu and its conjunction with Mercury can actually make you very futuristic, very intellectual. If your Rahu is conjunct with Sun, so definitely concerns of ego, your name, fame, recognition is going to be a driving force for you. If Rahu is conjunct with Mars, so any of the concerns of growth and progress might be connected with your courage, or could be the concerns of your siblings or of your brothers. Now same way friends, Another conjunction which plays a very pivotal role if you will find any planet to be conjunct with Ketu. Now trust me friends, I have already explained in some of the celebrity charts as well, where if you will find Ketu to be conjunct with Sun, and that too in like 10th house, 11th house, it can give actually magnanimous fame. So same way friends, when we talk about Ketu, which has got everything to do with our past, these are the kind of skills, these are the kind of talents which comes naturally to you. You do not have to work on that. Like wheresoever and whichever planet is going to be conjunct with Rahu, those are the areas where you have to work in this lifetime. That is the reason your innate desire and your curiosity takes you over there. But Ketu is something where perfection is something which your soul has acquired from the journey of the soul from past so many lifetimes. Now if you will find Ketu to be conjunct with Sun, so any of the concerns of recognition, perfection, glory, you might be working on that area from past so many lifetimes. If it is about Saturn, so even in your professional sphere, if you demonstrate some sort of specific skill, those skills might come naturally to you, or you might have done in that regard in your that professional front in the past so many lifetimes. So that is how you can see or you can study the involvement or conjunction of any planet with Ketu. Now friends, why I said any conjunction with your ascendant lord. So as I have already explained this thing, that ascendant lord is something which is going to be your journey in this lifetime. So on your path, on your journey, which other supporting elements are going to support you. Now friends, when we talk about conjunction of the planets, so you have to take into consideration the attribute, the karaka and the living signification as well. So let's say for example, if your ascendant lord is conjunct with Sun, so father is going to play a very pivotal role. If it's moon, then mother. If it's Mercury, this could be aunts, uncles, your friends. If it's Mars, this could be your brother. Venus, this could be your partner. So right now we are not getting into the rule of decoding the degrees and the planetary like in conjunction in general, which planets win the war, which planet is going to be in a dominant state. I'm just telling about that any planet which is conjunct with your ascendant lord is definitely going to have a say on your path, on your journey in this lifetime. Now comes another category. Any planet you will find conjunct with moon becomes very important, because you perceive the world from your subconsciousness, from your mind. So now friends, whichsoever planet is going to be conjunct with moon, your subconsciousness will find that energy very close to you, very near or very dear to you. So like for example, if your moon is going to be conjunct with Venus, so any sort of crisis, any sort of concerns of restlessness, all what you want first is to be loved, to be nurtured, or the support or the closeness of your partner or whomsoever you are in relationship with. Now let's say for example, if you will find your moon to be conjunct with Mercury, so that is going to tell about that somehow business matters, commercial matters, financial matters give your moon, your mind, a degree and sense of security. Now if this going to be Jupiter, now this could be wisdom, this could be all sort of knowledge and wisdom and goals and philosophy which keeps you driven and keeps you secured. Now if you will find this to be the planet Saturn, so that in itself friends tells about that concerns of material security becomes very important for you. Now friends, this is about from the moon's perspective. Now when we talk about any conjunction with Saturn, now why I involved Saturn over here? Because when Saturn plays a very pivotal role, because Saturn somehow tells about our karma. Now when I say karma, now it is irrespective of the fact that whether Saturn is your ascendant lord, whether Saturn is your 10th house lord, Saturn in itself tells about the test, trials, duties, responsibilities which needs to be shouldered in this lifetime. So because of which friends, like if you will find any planet strongly conjunct with Saturn, not only that, basis degree, basis the close conjunction or loose conjunction, you can also come to this conclusion that whatsoever profession, whatsoever duties you need to fulfill, what is going to be the support, what is going to be the reinforcing element which you will find over there. So now let's say for example, if you will find a Mercury to be conjunct with Saturn. So now here it hardly matters whether Saturn is your 10th house lord or not, but you will definitely find that basis the degree, I will come to the degree portion very soon, that somehow the when we talk about the prospects of communication, mathematical skills, being very quick, being very little bit kind of opportunistic, so these are the skills or qualities which helps you in your professional sphere. Now this could come naturally to you, or this could be a very strong asset for you while fulfilling your duties and responsibilities. Now if you will find Venus to be conjunct with your natal Saturn, so that can also be seen as a very good sign for a very good management of your relationship, your monetary and your financial management, specifically when it comes down to your nature of work or your line of work. So friends, that was just a basic overview that any conjunction in your natal chart which takes place either with nodes Rahu, Ketu, or with your ascendant lord, your natal moon, or with the Saturn plays a very pivotal role. You have to give extra attention to that. Now comes the topic of that if you will find like randomly, if you will find 2 planets or 3 planets conjunct in a house, which planet is going to have a major say. So now friends, that's very simple. The concept which I studied in Bharati Vidya Bhavan, I still remember in B.V. Raman sir's books as well. It was very explicitly and clearly mentioned that in any sort of planetary conjunction, the planet which is going to have lower degree is going to have a major say. So we can also look at it in this way, that the planet with a lower degree is going to be in the driving seat, and this planet is going to be driving and pushing the planet which is going to be on a higher degree. So I'm going to simplify it, friends. Now whenever first of all we talk about the planetary conjunction, here I'm talking about that planets are going to be, at least they are like close to each other, that the gap is either 4 degree or 5 degree. Then only we can say this thing that yes, these 2 planets are very tightly, are very strongly conjunct with each other. Because if you will find that one planet is placed in 1 degree, 2 degree, and another planet is placed in 28 degree, 29 degree, but in the same sign. So this is a conjunction, but it's a very loose conjunction. So planets are not in that a strong state to exert their influence on each other. So a tight conjunction or a typical conjunction will only qualify if planets are going to be tightly conjunct within a gap of 2 or 3 degree. So if a planet is placed in the Aquarius sign in the 5 degree and another planet is placed in the 7 degree of Aquarius, then we can say this thing that yes, this conjunction is very tight in nature. Now friends, as I was telling you about that, when we talk about in those scenarios or circumstances where you will find that in a same house like more than 2 planets are conjunct over there, you have understood this thing that if you will find a Gaj Kesari yoga in a chart, like moon and Jupiter are conjunct and moon is going to have a lower degree. So like your moon is placed, let's take up the case of Cancer sign, so where Jupiter is also exalted, moon is also placed in its own sign. So within the Cancer sign, if you will find that, let's first take up the case of moon is going to have lower degree. So moon within the Cancer is placed in the 10 degree and Jupiter is going to be placed in the 12 degree. So the concept and the principle which I just explained, so that is going to give us this idea that the emotions of moon is going to have a dominant say in the qualities of Jupiter. So definitely your mind will always chase and it is always going to be in the pursuit of wisdom, in the pursuit of knowledge. So all the qualities of Jupiter is something which will come naturally to you and you will always be naturally driven towards all sort of wisdom which you can acquire in this lifetime. And friends, I have said this thing so many times, like acquiring wisdom and knowledge is not something for which you have to go to ashram, you have to go in a spiritual retreat. If you are going to have a very ripe, a very well-placed moon in your chart and it is also getting supported from Jupiter, so trust me, the whole nature, the whole cosmos is going to work in tandem, that epiphany, realization, omens will definitely guide you and connect you with the right set of mentors and advisors in your life. Now friends, let's take up another case. So now for example, if we will find within this same Cancer sign, so we have a moon to be placed in the 10 degrees, we have Jupiter placed in the 12 degree, and let's place a Mercury over here as well. So now Mercury is going to be placed in the 14 degrees. So now friends, in this example, if you will take up this case as a car with 3 passengers, so the planet with the lowest degree is the planet Moon. So Moon is going to be in the driving seat, and Moon is going to be influencing and imbibing all the positive qualities of other 2 planets, because Moon has got the lowest degree. So now friends, in this hierarchy you can understand it in this way, that the planet with the highest degree is Mercury with 14 degrees. Lower to it is the planet Jupiter. So Jupiter is going to be influencing the qualities of Mercury, and at the end and finally Moon is going to be acquiring and imbibing all the qualities of 2 planets which are above it. So Moon is going to have a final say, and Moon is going to be acquiring the qualities of both Jupiter, which is at 12 degree, and Mercury, which is at 14 degree. So now friends, that is how we see and we relate when you will find 2 or 3 planets conjunct in a single house. Now friends, let's take up a celebrities chart, and we will try to decode the 2 or 3 planetary conjunction and its influence in their life. Now friends, the first chart which we will discuss today is going to be of the chart of Hollywood actress Angelina Jolie. So now friends, not only she is a very talented, successful actress, but also she is known for her philanthropic and humanitarian work all across the world. But friends, when I opened her chart, the one thing where I was very much inclined and interested was to look at her 5th house, because she has also adopted children and kids from all over the world. So like if it's about 1 kid or 2 kids, that's a different thing. But when you have adopted so many children, the information should come from the 5th house. And in any case, for all the actors and creative people, 5th house in any case plays a very pivotal role. So now friends, over here you will see that she has Rahu in her 5th house, that too in the Scorpio sign. So that in itself tells about obsession in that area of life. Now the ruler of the Scorpio is the planet Mars and Ketu. So now Mars is placed in the 9th house. Now if you will see over here, it is placed in the 9th house, but in the nakshatra of Mercury, Revati. So Mercury, which is the chief planet responsible for adoption, and the other co-ruler goes in the 11th house. So this was the move which was very much appreciated all across the world, that she went to the 3rd world countries to adopt the children. And also friends, Ketu and Sun being conjunct in the 11th house in itself is a prime yoga for name, fame, recognition. Ketu is a significator of flag, with Sun represents all these things. Now friends, we will focus on our today's discussion. So because friends, she also has 2 planets, 3 planets, like specifically 3 planets conjunct in her house. So first, take up the case of her 9th house. So in her 9th house, she has Jupiter, Moon and Mars conjunct in 1 house. Now how you will decode this 3 planetary conjunction? So now friends, definitely in this conjunction, which planet has got the lowest degree? So the planet with the lowest degree is her Mars. Now friends, you have to understand this thing. Her rising sign is Cancer. So for the Cancer rising people, Mars becomes the Yog Karaka planet. So in this conjunction, because Mars is tightly conjunct with other 2 planets as well, specifically with the Moon, so Mars is definitely going to have a say. So now friends, when we talk about in her case, because Moon is her ascendant lord as well, so whether we talk about her subconsciousness, we talk about her imaginative talents, or her thinking pattern, or her complete life, it is completely being dominated and controlled by the flavors of the Mars. So if you will see over here that her ascendant lord is being controlled by Mars, which has also got the rulership of her 10th house of her actions, 5th house of her intellect, of her creativity, and they both are sitting in the 9th house, so which can be seen as a very good Raj Yoga. And not only that friends, because Jupiter is also coming in the purview, and for all the Cancer rising people, Jupiter has got the rulership of the 6th house and the 9th house of Bhagyasthana. Jupiter is very much empowered and placed in its own house. So friends, you can fairly see the whole yoga is getting formed in a way that a Yog Karaka planet is in the driving seat, and it's influencing all other 2 planets as well. So if I were to say that which planet has got the majority of the control over here, and which planet is like getting driven by and controlled by other planets, so Jupiter is in any case is the lord of the house, but over here moon is strongly influencing Jupiter. So we can also look at it in this way, that your subconsciousness and your mind is in the pursuit of wisdom, of fortune and luck, and it is controlling it. And both the Jupiter and moon are being influenced and being controlled by the planet Mars over here, because it has got the lowest degree. Now friends, if you will look at her, the prospects of her 11th house. So over here as well, friends, in her case, her Mercury has got, it is in the 28 degrees and Sun is in 19 degree. So in a way, this is not a very tight conjunction, but the rule of planet having lower degree will still get qualified over here. Now friends, if you will see that in her case, Sun has got the rulership of her second house of her finances. Now in her case, Mercury has got the rulership of her third house, which becomes very important for performing artists and people, and the 12th house as well. Now you will say that okay, because friends, now again over here chemistry is getting formed in a way that it's not like that the house lord of expenses is influencing the house of income. Here things are getting formed in a way that planet which has got the ownership of the income, of the finances, is controlling the house lord of the expenses. And in any case friends, like if you will see that her Saturn is also very well placed in the 12th house, and she has associated herself for all the philanthropic and international United Nations projects and all of that. So all that thing can be fairly seen over here, that Sun being her second house lord is influencing the matters and the houses being controlled and ruled by the Mercury. So she actually became a spokesperson of all the international matters which needed the world's attention. Now friends, when we talk about from Ketu's perspective, I do not want to confuse you guys over here, because when we talk about Rahu and Ketu, they are always retrograde in motion. So we have to check their dignity and their distance traveled from the middle of the sign. So just because Ketu is placed in the 6 degrees, so we can fairly say that Ketu is also going to have a strong say, because it entered the sign from the end of the Taurus, and it has turned backward. So in a way it has stayed a longer time, and because of which Ketu is also going to have a grip in all of her signification of Sun qualities and the houses ruled by Mercury over here. So friends, that was one case of Angelina Jolie. Now second chart which we will study today is of Will Smith. So now friends, as you can see that I actually have a lot of respect for Will Smith, the kind of movies he has done, and because when I saw this picture of him being he visited India and he did the worship of Lord Shiva, so that was enough for me to get sold. So yeah, there has been recent controversies, but we will focus on what we have to do right now. So now friends, if you will see over here that his case, he is a Taurus rising person. You will see that he has Mars and Jupiter conjunct in 4th house. So I have seen a lot of his motivational videos as well, where he always emphasized on never say die, be strong-willed, be disciplined. In one video he was saying this thing that I do not know about the talent, but if you will put me on a treadmill, so I know that I will not come out of it till the time it's like my lungs have not exploded. So I will keep going, and that is my mool mantra of success, never give up. So all the drive and inner motivation is coming from the 4th house. But now friends, over here is that, see, for artists and creative people, sometimes this works in your favor, but sometimes it creates vulnerability as well. Because if you will see over here that because in this conjunction Mars has got the lower degree. Now this is not a very tight conjunction, but still over here Mars is dominating the qualities of the Jupiter. Now if we will see, Jupiter has got the rulership of the 8th house and the 11th house, and Mars is controlling it with the rulership of the 7th house and the 12th house. So you can fairly see this thing that the house lord of the spouse and the 7th house is controlling the house of controversies and house of public dealings. So whatsoever recently happened in the Oscar ceremony, you can fairly see this thing, that how protective person can become when it comes down to the matters of the dignity of his spouse and other areas. But now friends, just because now I know in the comment section people are going to have their own opinion that okay, no, this was the reason, this actually happened, the tabloids are making up, the truth was this. So let's not get into that. The only thing which I'm trying to say over here is that planet Mars, which is the planet of aggression, repressed emotion, is controlling the qualities of Jupiter. And just because you can fairly look at it in this way, that the planet which has got the rulership of the 7th house of your spouse, of your public activities, is controlling the houses of scandals. So this is something which we get to know from a conjunction and the way or the rule by which we have to study it. Had it been Jupiter being having a lower degree, this still could have been seen as a better state, but because Mars being an aggressive planet can lead to these kind of outbursts as well. Now friends, if we will come to his 6th house, so now friends, definitely he has his ascendant lord which is well placed in its own sign, in its own house. I always say this thing, that when we talk about the Venusian ascendants or the Martian ascendants, you have to take these placements with a pinch of salt. So for Aries ascendant person, Mars never gets the dosha of the rulership of the 8th house, because it is also the ascendant lord as well. So now friends, over here we have 3 planets. All the 3 are naturally benefic in nature, and they all are placed in the 6th house, and they are conjunct with each other. Specifically, Venus and Mercury are very tightly conjunct. In any case friends, in Vedic astrology, Mercury, which is the significator of Lord Vishnu, Venus is the significator of goddess. This in itself is called as the Lakshmi Narayana Yoga, and with the involvement of moon, in a way it is giving rise to a Saraswati kind of a yoga as well, which can be seen as a blessing in disguise for all the people in the artistic or creative field. Although had Jupiter been involved over here, this could have actually given rise to the more benefic side to it, but this guy has already attained good success in his life. Now friends, the fundamental principle of the looking at the degrees in a conjunction. So friends, if you will see over here, in his case, Mercury and Venus are very tightly conjunct with each other. So because of which, and Mercury holding a lower degree, that in itself tells about that Mercury, which has got the rulership of his 2nd house, which becomes a very important house for the actors, and the 5th house of art and entertainment. So that house lord is controlling his complete life, because Venus in his case is his ascendant lord, and moon has got the rulership of the 3rd house of drive and motivation. So because of which friends, overall if you will look at his case in his life, somehow art, entertainment, creativity was his driving force. I still remember in one of the videos and one of the book, I guess, of K.N. Rao sir, he has mentioned this thing, that 2nd house tells about, and a strong 2nd house tells about a man with a mission in life, with a concrete set goal in life. So that is how friends, you can see that moon and Venus are being completely controlled and dominated by Mercury over here, and Mercury also has a say on the important houses of entertainment and media, and being placed and well placed in the 6th house in itself tells about discipline. And friends, trust me, whenever I watch any of the motivational videos of, like specifically from the Hollywood, of Denzel Washington and Will Smith, the only one thing where they give focus is, and they attribute a reason for their success is their discipline. So friends, you can fairly see that Venus has a say and control over moon, and both the moon and Venus are being controlled by the planet Mercury because of the degree wise alignment in their charts, in this specific chart. So friends, it was just a very simple random example. In coming videos I will take up another charts, and I will show you like 3 planetary conjunction, 4 planetary conjunction, where planets might look on surface enemy to each other, but you will find that just because of the rulership and their sensitive placement and degree wise, they actually are working in favor with each other, supporting each other, and might be contributing towards the success of the native. So yes friends, this was just a basic introduction video on this concept of planetary conjunction. In next couple of videos, I will try to take you guys on a deeper aspect of it. For further more updates and notifications on the divine science of Vedic astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and like my Facebook page.